I remember that night like it was yesterday. The hospital halls were quiet. Just the hum of the machines, and the faint beeping that had become the soundtrack of my days. The chemo had taken almost everything from me: my hair, my strength, my sleep, and some days, even my will. But tomorrow was supposed to be the last one. My final round. Everyone said I should be happy, but my heart felt heavy, like something was waiting for me. She pauses, the sound of a soft sigh. I stared at the little cross hanging above my bed. I whispered, "Lord, if this is it, just let me go peaceful." Then I looked at the photo on the table, my husband, Elijah. Gone 7 years now. My best friend, my reason. I touched the frame with trembling fingers and whispered, "I miss you." That's when the nurse came in, young, kind eyes, always humming gospel songs. "You get some rest now, Miss Clara," she said softly. "Tomorrow's a big day." I smiled, weakly. "If I make it till morning, honey, that'll be miracle enough." Before we go on, if you've ever felt like life tested you more than you could handle, this story is for you. Please, take a second to like this video, subscribe, and watch till the end, because what happened that night changed everything. I thought I knew about faith, loss, and love. After the nurse left, I couldn't sleep. I reached for my journal, the same one Elijah had given me before he passed. Inside were prayers, little notes, letters to God. But when I turned the page that night, there was something new. A folded piece of paper, yellowed, old, and it wasn't in my handwriting. My hands started to shake. Across the top, in small, neat letters, it said, "For Clara, to be opened when you're almost ready to give up." My heart stopped, because it was Elijah's handwriting. I gasped so hard the monitors beeped. I pressed the paper to my chest. "No. No, this can't be," I whispered. But it was his writing. His voice echoed in my memory one day. "Clara, when you feel alone, I'll find a way to remind you you're not." And right there, in that cold hospital room, on the night before my last chemo, I realized Elijah had kept his promise. My fingers trembled as I unfolded the paper. The corners were soft, like something that had been handled many times before. The ink was faint, but I would have known that handwriting anywhere. Elijah's, my Elijah. The man who used to write me love notes on napkins. The man who'd leave little scriptures taped to my mirror before work. The man who promised me, even after he was gone, I'd never be alone. But how? He'd been gone 7 years. Buried with his Bible and his wedding ring. I held the letter close and read it, slowly, through blurry tears. "My dearest Clara, if you're reading this, it means the doctors have given you hard news. I know how that feels, my love, to be told your body is tired, that the fight is too big. But I also know something else. You were never made of fear. You were made of faith." I covered my mouth. My tears fell onto the page, blurring his words, but I kept reading. "You've spent your life praying for others, singing when you were tired, cooking meals for the sick, holding the hands of the broken. But this time, it's your turn to be carried. Let God carry you now, Clara. And if you ever wonder whether I'm near, I am. I'll be in the sunrise over your hospital window, in the hum of your favorite song, in the heartbeat that refuses to quit. Love doesn't die, Clara. It just learns new ways to speak." I couldn't breathe. I pressed the letter to my chest and sobbed. Because that was exactly what Elijah used to say. Love doesn't die. It just changes form. I don't know how long I sat there. Maybe an hour, maybe all night. The nurses peeked in once, saw me crying, and quietly closed the door. Outside, the rain stopped. The moonlight hit the window just right, and for a second I swear it looked like someone was standing there. A tall shadow, with shoulders I knew by heart. "Elijah." No answer, just stillness. But somehow, I felt warm again, as if the cold hospital room had turned into home. My mind drifted back to the first time Elijah and I met. 1968. I was a choir girl with a cracked voice and a wild dream. He was the new piano player, tall and quiet, with that deep laugh that made the whole church echo. He said, "You sing from your soul, Miss Clara." I said, "You play like you're talking to God himself." And that was the beginning. For 42 years, we built a life on faith and love. Through poverty, through sickness, through loss. Even when the cancer first came for me, Elijah never left my side. He prayed over every pill, every scan, every night of pain. And when he got sick first, I became the strong one. We promised each other, whoever went first would send a sign, something small, something gentle. I thought it was just sweet talk between two old lovers. But that night, holding his letter, I knew it wasn't just talk. He meant it. I folded the letter carefully and held it under my pillow. For the first time in months, I didn't pray for healing. I just whispered, "Thank you, Lord, for letting love find me again, even here, for reminding me that no sickness, no chemo, no grave can separate what you joined together." And before I fell asleep, I could almost hear Elijah's voice again. "You're not done yet, Clara. You've still got one more song to sing." The morning came quietly. No alarms, no rushing footsteps. Just the steady hum of machines, the rustle of nurses' shoes, and the slow drip of the four that had become my lullaby. I hadn't slept much. Elijah's letter sat folded under my pillow, warm from my hand. I kept touching it, over and over, afraid that if I let go, it might disappear like a dream. The nurse, Caroline, peeked in. "Good morning, Miss Clara," she said gently. "Ready for your last treatment?" I smiled, a small one. "Ready as I'll ever be." She adjusted my blanket, her voice low, kind. "You're a fighter, you know that. You've made it further than anyone expected." I chuckled weakly. "Maybe so, but I had a little help last night." "Help?" she asked, raising an eyebrow. "From someone who's not supposed to be here anymore," I whispered. Caroline smiled politely. The kind of smile people give when they think you're just tired or imagining things. But I knew what I felt. I knew who had been with me. As she left, I reached for my journal again. I wanted to write back to Elijah. Just a few words. "I got your letter. I'm not giving up. Not yet." My hands trembled so badly, I could hardly hold the pen. The chemo had taken almost everything. My strength, my voice, even my handwriting. But somehow, that morning, I felt lighter. As if something inside me had already begun to heal. I closed my eyes and started to pray. "Lord, if you're not done with me yet, give me a reason to stay." That's when the monitor beeped faster. Caroline rushed in. "Miss Clara, are you okay?" "I'm fine, baby," I said, "just talking to the Lord." She smiled again and said she'd be back soon with the doctor. The rest of the morning passed like a slow movie. The four drip, the hum of fluorescent lights, the shuffle of papers. But around noon, just before they were about to start my final chemo round, something happened. I looked toward the window, and for a split second, I saw movement. A shadow? No, not just a shadow, a figure, tall, familiar. I blinked, and it was gone. I must have smiled, because the nurse said, "What's that grin for, Miss Clara?" "Oh," I whispered. "Just someone reminding me I'm not alone." When the doctor entered, he looked serious. Clipboard in hand, glasses low on his nose. "Miss Clara," he said slowly, "we ran your tests again this morning before your last treatment." My heart dropped. "Is it back?" He hesitated. "No. It's not back. It's gone. Greater than." I blinked. "Gone. Completely," he said. "We double-checked everything. No signs of active cancer. Your body's responding like the treatment already finished itself. Greater than." My hands flew to my mouth. No, that can't be." "You said." "I know what I said," he interrupted. "I can't explain it, Clara, but medically speaking, you shouldn't be alive like this. Greater than." I started crying. Not quiet tears. The kind that come from deep inside your chest. The nurse hugged me, whispering, "It's a miracle." But I just shook my head. "No, honey. It's a promise." I pulled Elijah's letter from under the pillow and showed it to her. "He told me love doesn't die," I said through tears. "He told me God would carry me. And he did." The doctor stood frozen. He looked at the letter, then at me. "You're saying someone gave you that?" "Someone who already left," I said softly. And yet, somehow, he was right on time. Greater than. That night, when the hospital lights dimmed and the halls grew quiet, I sat by the window with that letter in my lap. The moon was full. The sky was calm. I whispered, "You did it, Elijah. You kept your word." And in the hum of the machines, I heard it. Not a voice, but something deeper, softer. A whisper in my heart. A few days later, they discharged me. The nurses hugged me. The doctor shook his head in disbelief. And the janitor, bless his heart, said, "You must have angels working overtime, Miss Clara." I smiled. "Maybe just one," I whispered. I walked out of that hospital weaker than ever, but somehow stronger than I'd ever been. Every step felt like a prayer. Every breath, a song. The sky looked bluer. The air tasted new. When I got home, the house was quiet, just like the night Elijah left me. His old chair was still in the corner, the Bible still open to his favorite verse. "I will never leave you nor forsake you." I sat down, holding that letter again. The one that found me when I was ready to give up. I thought about all the nights I had prayed for healing, for answers, for strength. And I realized something. Sometimes, the miracle isn't that God stops the storm. It's that he gives you peace right in the middle of it. I put Elijah's letter in a frame, right above my bed. Every morning when I wake up, it's the first thing I see. The words are faded now, the ink almost gone. But the message never fades. Love doesn't die. It just learns new ways to speak. I started going back to church, slowly at first. My body was still weak, but my spirit, my spirit was on fire. One Sunday, I told my pastor what happened. He listened, tears in his eyes, then said, "Miss Clara, sometimes God lets the doctors be confused so that heaven can get the glory." And from that day on, I started sharing my story. Not for sympathy, but for faith. For every soul sitting in a hospital room thinking the story's over. For every person clutching an old photo, praying for a sign. I tell them what I learned. That when your body gives up, but your heart still whispers, "I'm not ready," heaven listens. That when the world says it's too late, God says, "Watch what I can do." Now, every year on the anniversary of that night, I light a candle by the window. I sit in Elijah's chair and hum the song he used to play, "Blessed Assurance." Sometimes, I swear I hear that piano again, soft, steady, familiar. And I smile, because I know he's still keeping his promise. People ask me all the time, "Miss Clara, what keeps you going after everything you've been through?" And I tell them, it's not the medicine. It's not the doctors. It's not luck. It's love. The kind of love that doesn't fit in a heartbeat or a hospital bed. The kind that crosses heaven and earth just to remind you, you're not done yet. So if you're watching this right now, and you're tired, and you're hurting, and you feel like God has forgotten you, listen to this old woman's story. Because he hasn't. I'm living proof. My name is Clara Williams. And the night before my last chemo, I found a letter from a man who had already gone home to heaven. And through that letter, God brought me back to life.